Good day to everyone. Universally applicable. No matter when you tune in, it applies. I think that's the best formula you can say. Heiko.
Welcome
Exactly.
to the world-changing moments in human history.
Exactly. That's why we're going to talk about evolution right now.
Yes, yes. Well, let's tackle everything that's coming up in the future immediately because I finally know which lecture I'll be giving.
That's great. I still have no idea. I have some kind of an idea of where it's supposed to go, but I probably don't know for sure yet. So, that's my appeal. The program is set for Sunday at 2:14 p.m. There will be a small premiere on the YouTube. Where I will link that for you down below here. And yes, you can be looking forward to the things that are coming. Uh, we also have a large number of voucher promotions currently underway. The system is being launched very soon. I estimate that the initial distribution will be completed during the following week. To facilitate travel, please consider using carpooling options. Yes, so it's not necessary for everyone to drive there, especially and also with regard to the fuel prices. I would like to say at this point, we are not going to increase the price. I want to emphasize that we've kept the price unchanged since 2023. No, that's 2022 to be precise. And well, I disregard inflation. I disregard all that gibberish circulating now. This thing will remain stable, and I swore to myself that no matter what happens out there. So that's how we're going to implement it this time. Yes. Look, you globally organized carpools. We set up a special channel for it, and you can definitely network there wonderfully. Well, Kamuchev, one.
Needs to mention here, I recently read that the co-hosts from the 10th edition have been eliminated.
Everything online now? Yes, everything is out completely. You can therefore easily listen to it again and check it once more. It's out.
And that's the cool thing about Volition, that you can actually watch all the things, all the lectures from the last 10 Volitions online. That's good. Finishing the current project will take approximately a year, as it would be unfair to those who are paying admission to enter this place.
A year will never last. So we'll need about 2 months, I think.
Yes, but I think that's also quite alright, because I hold the opinion that, well, knowledge has to be shared, and that Volution makes all of the lectures freely available online, and it doesn't matter which topic appeals to you. You will find them on the Volution channel completely. All the lectures from all individuals, well, it's a knowledge database. It's like the Netflix of our time for Truverse. And that's the basic idea behind it, right? Because that's what I wanted. All the information at the click of a button, and that's what's so great about it. Because I've realized, and this is especially evident given the current global dynamics, that many individuals still hold a fundamentally flawed understanding of the British Empire's vast scale and influence. I've decided to present a lecture focusing on this crucial subject. This lack of comprehension significantly hinders their ability to interpret the actions of the current president.
Yes, which brings us to the topic, right? Right now, the conditions are quite well. I'd say it's very windy, though that's not entirely accurate, It's really March Madness. There's no other way to describe it. This is indeed true, and I'm not just referring to the aftermath of the war. Last week, if I recall correctly, there was something circulating online, AI-generated images concerning the death of images. You don't know which way is up and which way is down. It's completely crazy. Then you saw various pictures of impacts, tweets describing massive impacts in Israel. Oh. I just saw that the Tel Aviv train station was hit by a rocket and all that stuff. You can't verify anything in any way at the moment, and I think you just have to take a step back and say, let's hold back on any prophecies for now. It's true, we were both a little rigid in our thinking about the 17-day time frame, but that doesn't seem to quite hold up, doesn't it?
Well, so, Phase 5 has begun. It was initiated yesterday evening on the 17th, and I consider to be a significant step forward. But on the subject of fakes, most people forget that missiles have been flying towards Tel Aviv for 3 years. One should also always check with every video whether it is original and from what date it is.
Yes, that's
the crucial point. Missiles have been flying towards Tel Aviv regularly for the past 3 years. Yes. There are so many videos currently circulating, but they're all a bit older. Some people even believe that American aircraft carriers are lying on the ground. You actually find some people who hold a strong belief that all American military bases in the Orient have been completely destroyed, They really do believe that. Yes, But they also believe that there is still an Iranian mullah president, even though there is only a cardboard cutout. And they believe that Bibi is dead and that they are just AI. They could both be right.
Yes, of course. I cut by bar. That is the madness that I see with it. This vibe, this sheer madness that's also evident in the way the situation is being covered. Now, if you check out our newspaper, you'll notice you were able to witness exactly how the Iran conflict moved from headline position, number 1, 3, number 4. Number 3, number 4. Now we've arrived somewhere around the bottom, number 8. So, taking a look at build, yeah, it's all right. And what the German elite, the political elite, is letting loose here, you really do start wondering then, what on earth is going on with you all?
Really? No, you have to look at it in a differentiated way. Some individuals claim that America is about to suffer the greatest defeat in its history, whereas others maintain that Iran's top 50 individuals are no longer operational. The first, second, and third guards no longer exist. In addition, Iran does not have the ability to protect its leadership personnel for longer than 24 hours. From my point of view, Iran has been unable to achieve anything whatsoever, absolutely nothing, from the outset. It is no longer even targeting any US ships. It is now eyeing everything it can hit. And in my opinion, that is because there are many international law experts, and for many of them, everything is genocide. To them, it's genocide. Even if Cuba becomes completely climate neutral, using cluster bombs against major cities with populations in the millions, constitutes a serious war crime, the sole objective of which is to target civilians. If someone were to try to hit military targets, then that would be normal. Then I would have no problem with that either. But right now, it is so crazy what we are currently experiencing there, in so many areas. And in particular, the 5 most powerful Iranians come from Iraq. He was none other than Ali Larmi, the mastermind behind the massacre, who died yesterday. The one who was already involved back in 1979. This guy's a real big shot in the regime. He was significantly more important than Mu. Therefore, the fact that he's now sidelined is a very positive development. Why? Because they absolutely had to show themselves in public during this march to the people. But he was 3 meters behind where the Mossad agent was and ran after him to see where his face was, right? They don't make it for a few seconds. It's even come to the point where rumors are now circulating that the Mueller ring has been exchanged for a ring with a transmitter and a microphone in it. So it's crazy what we're experiencing. March, of course, is when this is fitting, yet it's simply a piece of the puzzle. Given what we're witnessing here, and I'm happy to emphasize this again, Trump has now fostered 9 or 10 instances of peace, but he's also overseen the direct and indirect dismantling of 7 communist regimes. Many people don't believe that. He made a deal with Kim Jong. He overthrew Assad through indirect assistance. He disrupted Hamas in a socialist communist way. He liberated Hezbollah with Lebanon. He has now practically overthrown the mullahs. He overthrew Venezuela, which was also communist, the easiest thing to do. And Cuba's making a deal.
Forget Mexico.
Mexico too. That will be the 8th communist socialist state. I'm curious. Yes, France, England, and Spain are all still included on Trump's list, classified as communist or socialist states. And in Germany, Trump doesn't know what he's doing yet. But if they continue to behave like this, then it's quite possible that Big Daddy Trump will simply come over quickly and explain to him where their place in the food chain is.
It's quite telling. Do you know where you are?
I just want to quickly show the picture in the background in order to make it clear to everyone that Mueller believed he was playing a game of grand chess. In the meantime, he himself is just a piece that can be replaced. Leaders like Merz, Starmer, and Macron, while prominent, are nothing more than pawns in the game of global geopolitics with no real influence. I mean, now I'm back.
On the other hand, what else is happening? Yes, you see, NATO has apparently become what? Exactly.
They are now referring to it as micro-NATO. The micro-NATO concept, you see, was presented by the Germans. It proposes dividing NATO into as many as 5 smaller MNATOs, an anti-cartel NATO, an Orthodox NATO, a German NATO, an Italian Mediterranean NATO, and an Ottoman NATO, because the large NATO structure is no longer functional. At the same time, the NATO troops are learning from the Ukrainians that they are completely failing in today's form of warfare. The Ukrainians are even laughing at our air defense and saying, yes, your pure metal is quite good when the target comes from the front, but if that's the case, then we'll attack from 4 directions at the same time. The barrel can't turn that fast. He's right.
Yes, naturally, he's right. You know, he could certainly become frightened and agitated by what's currently unfolding outside. Yes. Now, if we move our focus from global affairs to domestic issues, let's consider the significant state election backdrop. Within this context, a large-scale milk producer made the surprising public declaration. Why not let the AFD choose your prime minister? This statement, explicitly directed towards the CDU, is, in my honest opinion, unlikely to bear fruit. As the adage goes, he who laughs last laughs best. The situation in Baden-Württemberg at present remains highly unpredictable and difficult to assess. I want to reiterate the actions taken against that particular candidate. Regardless of his verbal statements, I've personally reviewed the relevant video were, to put it mildly, questionable. When we remember someone with a special quality, a unique characteristic often pops, we instinctively share that specific feature, don't we?
Yes.
No brown eyes or some similar, and that's precisely what occurred. Something like that, where I then say, yes, my God, but they really made something out of that, where the candidate was damaged not only politically, but also personally. It's not possible for him. No, he simply cannot really share responsibility with those people. Not at all. That's impossible. If you do that, then it's a confession of bankruptcy. I have to tell you that very clearly. It's a confession of bankruptcy for all the conservative values that the CDU once stood for. We know that that's no longer the case.
Yes, above all, the CDU is putting itself in a position of blackmail, yes. Because Kem and the Greens, well, Kem never really has anything against the majority in his party. Kem can be conservative if he wants. The remaining members of his group will not be loyal, and they will abandon his support every single time. Things don't go according to their wishes. Therefore, while the CDU may work with the Greens anytime they wish to implement policies characteristic of the CDU, they will be met with opposition from the Green Party. Yes, and I'm perfect. Yes. And one must add that Baden-Württemberg is undoubtedly a land of sand. That's the American, right? Those are the most important American things.
Nobody here understands what's happened. The truth is, none of us understand it. I certainly don't understand it. I don't get it. Yes, it is evident that in this country, prosperity is currently facing the most significant threats. So the fall from the very top to the very bottom is the greatest here. Yes, that's the way it is. That's just the way it is. Livelihoods depend on companies like Bosch here. There are entire regions that work for this company. The villages that are there, the ones that are around there, yes, the ones that have 80-90% all of the workforce at the big companies who are now standing there and saying, what's going on here?
4 more years.
Right? 5? 4.
5. 5 or 4. Yes, but notice that so far everything that's happened has been for a good reason. Also in Baden-Württemberg, and since the firewall is now being built at the municipal level, yes, the level has partially dropped. Wait, what was I going to say? It has fallen at the local level. There are indirect firewall breaches at the state level. There is now demonstrable cooperation. Whether intentional or unintentional, it doesn't matter at all. At the European level, that means that 3 out of 4 no longer know a firewall. Now, the remaining question is just how we can obtain this. And it's not solely the fact that this report originates from the one, the only, the Müllermilchmeister. Yes. Yes. At the same time, there are also reports that we are on the verge of GDR 2.0.
What?
There was also a report that we are on the verge of GDR 2.0.
Given what I'm hearing about the current situation, I believe it entirely. We have a desperate attempt to control the fuel price, a price that is legally supposed to be kept. But instead of taking a firm stand and addressing the issue directly, there's been this unproductive, almost trivial chatter that's incredibly frustrating. What exactly is their game plan? Hit you in the head, they're holding an economic summit with the oil company, blah, 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 blah. But they themselves have 50% of the revenue from the spray. Instead of saying we're deducting the CO2 tax, we're suspending that to keep the church here flourishing. No, the minerals are to blame.
A fuel break is a planned economy?
Yes.
Imagine a milk price cap and then picture a rent price cap. That's what this is. Planned economy. Only with others. That's communist, and that's the crucial thing you have to understand here. Each suggestion voiced here is rooted in communist, socialist ideology, and the CDU shows such intellectual deficiency by supporting it merely because of a new label attached to this so-called fuel break scheme. Yes, sometimes you press the brake pedal, or you only adjust it once a day. Yes, they do it the most early. Yes, it is just utterly ridiculous, a laughable situation, and everyone must price it.
20 cents higher so that they can eventually lower it 14 cents by the end of the day. That's exactly it. The point, is it because it always goes down? They're allowed to do that. It's all nonsense. That's all Luke Truck. The best example, the special fund of $500 billion. The office put out a report this morning. I believe, if I remember correctly, the Greens were the ones who actually introduced it. After careful investigation, they discovered that 95% of the borrowed funds were not allocated to infrastructure projects or developmental programs, but rather used to patch up budget deficits. 95.
Well, there can't be that many budget holes.
The Greens failed to undertake
a study themselves. It's essential to always exercise caution. Even so, I'm assuming that at least 20 to 30% of these funds found their way elsewhere. Yeah, because the Bundeswehr has been buying a lot. So a lot of billions have already been spent, and the train routes have started to be built in Berlin and Hamburg. All the bridges are currently being built, so some of it has already been spent, but it's still being misused. I completely agree with you on that. If we still had a police force that considered theft of tax money a criminal offense, and misappropriation, it should actually be a criminal offense or misappropriation.
It's basically, what do you call it? Breach of trust. That's what's going on there. Yes, breach of trust. It's because you're working with this money on behalf of the citizens in a fiduciary capacity. This is a breach of trust, you could say, and then nothing comes of it for those people. It's quite astonishing. It's truly unbelievable, wouldn't you agree? Yes, I saw a brief summary of your advice on saving your Chanel, but it included some rather concerning references. There were mentions of dealings with Sparkos and Wesselba, and then the name Peter Thiel also popped up. It sounded incredibly complicated, making me wonder if it could possibly be true. They have a precise understanding of their duties at the various control points. Nothing bad will befall them. That's readily what's taking place up there. Yes, it's all about monetary enrichment now, nothing more, simply.
Because that's what's happening.
Nothing so far.
Consider those 500 billion as a large, enticing piece of meat, a temptation impossible to resist for those who
are, of course, corrupt.
And then the AFD comes to power and sets up a committee of inquiry. And then you first have to give them an option for corruption. Understand, they are gangsters, which means you'll have to offer them a very large, enticing piece of meat, something they simply can't resist. The thing is still turning. I firmly believe so.
Yes, I assume so too. That's how sooner or later, everyone will grasp the concept that you need to allocate a certain amount of power to that aspect. This is crucial, irrespective of the specific objective. But there has to be something fresh in it, Fresh somewhere in the sense of unburdened. Without the weight of past missteps, without the burden of past decisions, without the baggage of everything that has occurred previously. Because everyone there, with the exception, of course, of the BSW, has a political past. A past that, in some way, has contributed to this awful situation.
Yes, neither does the... Really. But I know what you mean.
Yes, I see. The AFD and BSW are the only ones who are basically in the foreground in the story, without any encumbrances.
Although it must be said that nuclear power is suddenly back in fashion. It appears Söder has completely changed his stance after giving it further consideration. He's made a 100-degree turn. That's because I was in Bavaria just last week. It's also hard for many Bavarians to understand that the person they always hated, Söder, is now suddenly doing something that is actually good, as if someone had given him a buffet. Because first he got the flag from the Americans, then he said he had thought about it again, and suddenly he wants nuclear power plants again. He wants that. I mean, things are already making progress in Bavaria. Bavaria has now introduced its own deportation prison and payment cards, right? So those are small steps for West Germany, but in the right direction. And I see that as progress in this chaotic world, right? This giant step forward that we're all waiting for. Because we are in Germany, nobody here takes any big steps.
No. I have to agree with you. Absolutely. Obviously, I think it's also incredibly impressive, don't you think, to stand right there and proclaim that, yes, we are taking steps to benefit the consumer. That's something where I then say, yes, if the fuel prices increase once a day, yes, then we are relieving the burden on the consumer. That is such a stupid thing to say in the face. Yes, there's really no other way to say it, and I can't come up with any other phrasing.
The news headline simultaneously presents an article stating that the government could, in fact, be dissolved quite quickly. It was also this week. Yes. It's because these flummen are constantly eating until their food reaches the top edge of their lower lips.
Consequently, they all throw up. Their capacity for throwing up exceeds their capacity for eating. Yes, that is actually the case because I did, in fact, receive a report from thee this morning, you know? We see an insolvency administrator driving around who emphasizes the term deindustrialization. He insists that it is not a theory, nor is it a conspiracy theory. It is a fact. Yes, he's never had as many orders to process as he has had in the last 2 years, not ever before. Say, something's going terribly wrong here. And then they're standing there and always saying wind power.
Yes. And that has to be, it's like with the 400,000 Palestinians that East Germany's supposed to get now. Should you desire a result for the AFD akin to the 99.3% communist victory of Kim Jong-un, then please arrange for 400,000 Palestinians to relocate to East Germany. Go ahead, please be so incredibly stupid if you want the AFD to receive a better result than Erich Honecker, Fidel Castro, or Maduro, all of whom consistently achieve a remarkable 99.6%.
Strangely enough, they all have the same opinion. Yes, wonderful. Yes.
If you want to do that, then go ahead. East Germany is not West Germany. The Palestinians won't feel comfortable here, right? Let's face it, except in Leipzig and Berlin. And even in Leipzig, the Antifa movement is often in opposition to the Migrantifa. So there will be friction there too. Even the fact that Gregor Gysi is being attacked now, even the fact that the left party is now denying Israel's right to exist.
You get a headache in this country. Taking all out this crap for so long, you're gonna get a serious headache. You can't put it any Boards, that's what Leatherface said. He repeated. That's how it is.
The average German is in his dull, everyday routine. Drinking coffee, reading Bild newspaper, at work. Right now, the process of creating a perfectly harmonious slave is being ripped apart. In a way unlike anything ever seen in an MK Ultra program. It really can't be described any other way. Because here, even the very last, within the ochre mark, no matter its current location, it will have about become evident that something is amiss and that a change is absolutely necessary. A desire for change will be widespread, and with the AFD assuming power, everyone will understand their policies. Then, as things improve, they'll all come to love the AFD. This is the predicted outcome. You have to
pray slowly that this happens. In all seriousness, because no matter what sort of figures are in there, it really doesn't interest me. The main thing is that the other is gone. Yes, everything is better than that.
Yes, fine. Not everything, but a lot of things, as long as it is not socialist. And that's what I love so much about this planet at this moment. You see, in all the countries on the planet, what I mean, all the countries, it's striking how many countries around the world are currently participating in what you might call the Trump dance. And I promise you, when Trump is finally done with Germany, and we are definitely on his list of statements made by our government against Trump, he will remember things like that, and things like that will come back to him. You can do it there, you can do it. In that place, you find the originals. The drama is German.
And also remarkably quiet, almost suspiciously so. And also suspicious. Yeah, so you just notice, it's kind of here, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. I think it's super awesome too. Okay, so people are now just saying, this isn't our war.
Yeah, but it's still good. Now, Trump is able to claim that the situation in Ukraine isn't our war. They're providing him with the templates. Well, online speculation is already rife, suggesting that the whole Iran situation, plus this whole help me debacle, was a carefully constructed trap laid by Trump. His goal, evidently, was to demonstrate the ineffectiveness of NATO, arguing instead that their alliance is nothing more than a one-way street. You help us, but we'll never help you. And he only asked for a few minesweepers. We're not talking about directly entering the war here. We're talking about him using only a minesweeper, a ship for clearing underwater mines.
That's how it is.
So it's escort protection.
Yeah, so not an active combat operation, but just technical support. That's all it was. And with the Kellogg said, they're playing dumb.
That's,
Exactly it.
you know, everyone who gets oil from down there has to take care of it. This isn't simply a matter for the United States. A truly international force is needed to guarantee the security in what's increasingly being referred to as the Strait of Anus. Did you see that in the picture?
I saw it. Yes, I saw it. We don't want to go into detail.
But that's exactly the right way. If we are to move beyond American hegemony, a robust international and coordinated force is essential to safeguard the interests of all those who rely on the oil extracted from that area. This force must include a diverse representation of nations, since every nation involved desires access to the total oil, and consequently each nation issues such as well. If you want to solve the problem permanently, you need an international rescue force.
Yes, most importantly, you've been involved in this entire process, this whole workflow from beginning to end. Oh, I mean, it's fine. We can reiterate it, but essentially, we only see what is being manipulated. Yes, if you look at current news coverage, whether from an Iranian, American, German, or any other perspective, it's crucial to remember that they lie consistently, right? There. Yes, you have to be aware of that. Now, what I'm trying to say is, when you watch the actions taken down there, along with the information we've received, the indiscriminate shooting in all directions, it clearly demonstrates that a monstrously large divisive element is infecting this country, and it absolutely must be eradicated. The end. This current method might not be as precise as one would wish, perhaps somewhat imprecise, but
You really need to look closely. The claim is consistently made that a particular group of people controls all media outlets. No way that can be right, otherwise that particular group wouldn't be demonstrating such poor decision-making capabilities just now. That's point one. Point two is that it has never happened before, that almost all major US media outlets were against the war. Why is it CNN and everyone else against the war? Because it's their CIA assets in Iran. One needs to grasp that the communist socialist press is complicit with the communist socialist regime in Iran, that our own press is just as saturated with the left-leaning, green ideological underpinnings of Mueller's worldview. You have to understand that. This is why our press is operating as a PR agency for Mueller, specifically one that portrays him unfavorably. I'd like to say it again here for everyone. You don't have to be on Israel's side. Nobody expects that from you. But if you voluntarily side with Iran, then you'd better keep your mouth shut and say nothing. Honestly, then you better keep your mouth shut. I can understand that you won't side with Israel. That's your right. I truly wish you all the best, but taking the side of Mole willingly when the blood of those children is so obviously still clinging to him.
yes, see, that's precisely what was also co-opted by anti-Semitism, something we have witnessed here countless times. Something's time. Land, who are now, also with us, together with the left, are basically holding these demonstrations abar. You can't put it any other way. You can see it quite clearly, and this is,
Promulimo in Frankfurt.
What?
Promulimo was in Frankfurt.
It's still allowed to take place.
Is even allowed.
It's still allowed to take place.
Yes. It's
Crazy, they're
cheering on a mass murderer. You can have a little pro-Hitler demonstration here.
Yes, I said crazy. That's exactly what I don't understand. The construct we're dealing with here is quite peculiar. It's as if certain individuals are playing the role of global moral arbiters and confidently assuming they know best what's good and right for you, your country, and the choices you make in your life, and the choices... let's start like this. For me, it started here with bike paths in Peru, about climate-neutral gender philosophies in Rwanda. What do I know? Gender conflict among gorillas and all sorts of stuff, where after that, you need to figure out how to get all this crazy stuff they've dreamed up across to them somehow. You even pay for it without even noticing. That means you also work hard for it. This nonsense, you're spending your one precious life, a truly unique life, spreading it all over. Simultaneously, you are staffing your entire leadership team with individuals who are manifestly incapable of completing a grammatically correct German sentence. These individuals subsequently find themselves in key positions of international significance, ultimately causing you, yes, your very person, your national identity, your people, and all that they represent to suffer such profound humiliation that you are rendered unworthy of international respect. And now, at the very top, you have someone who, it seems, is nothing but a liar morning to night.
Yes. Who exactly do I mean?
Stay calm.
Whom are you talking about now? Right? He deceives everyone, the good as well as the bad, because he's pursuing his own agenda, which I perceive as having a 50-50 chance of success. It could be something good or something bad.
That nothing happens by chance, We agree on that. Yes, absolutely. The only thing I think about is the spectacle we've been subjected to for what feels like 10 years. Yes, it's really shocking. Actually, quite frankly, that
Is precisely what East Germans really need. Look, I only recently understood it. An all-day school is a children's gulag. Yes, what do you I mean by that? I'll be happy to explain it to you. Provided you were a good and obedient citizen during the GDR period, all days school was a fantastic thing. But were you a dissident? Did school or full daycare already feel like a prison for your child? A place you are no longer able to access? And that's how it was during the GDR era, but also in Cuba, Venezuela, and Iran. You could never just say anything against Mueller. They went after your child. Consequently, they've established all schools everywhere with the explicit goal of indoctrinating the children with their ideology and maintaining complete control over them throughout the entire day.
that's how it is. There's a statement by Rockefeller, I think it was called, in the 20s, get them when they're young. And look, it's really interesting. What I recently worked on involved a parallel cutting technique utilizing various shots, creating a unique effect. One was school, the other was prison.
Yeah, I know.
They ran in parallel. Yeah. There you observed, in fact, that there was no difference at all. The only distinction lay in the fact that the door opened at the end, allowing you to go home. Such behavior is impossible behind bars, but in a sense, your cell in prison becomes your home. But the process was basically the same. There was food, sports. Yeah,
Even the bus was the same.
the bus was the same.
And who's in favor of all-day school? Who wants to introduce it? It's the left again.
Yeah.
Well, the right-wing conservatives are more in favor of compulsory education and not compulsory schooling.
According to the motto, set your standard. What do you need to be able to do when you're 18? I'll make sure you achieve it, and then the exam will be held. There are thousands of pieces of evidence. Yes, there you can talk to Ricardo Leppa, you can talk to Bertrand Stern. They've spent years and years immersed in these topics, and they'll be very upfront about it. We've witnessed 8-year-olds achieve high school graduation at the same intellectual level as 18-year-olds as 18-year-olds. It's all possible.
Yes. With ease.
Yes.
Yes.
The effortless way you assemble it, away from the pressures and stresses of school. It just came to my attention that we've hired our first Arabic teacher for the secondary school. But alongside this news, there are other things happening that leave me wondering, what could this be? What's happening?
Oh, I know the region. These are the Ukrainians, German teachers.
Brain wrenching. I'll just say brain wrenching. You can't say more. Really? Either they have it or we have it. I don't know. So what's wrong with us? I don't have it.
What's with us is that we tolerate it. The problem of tolerance. Consequently, I perceive this feeling taking shape globally now, this wave of optimism manifesting everywhere, with regimes falling one after the other as they were interconnected. When that money dries up, those illicit drug funds cease, they crumble, one domino after the other, predictable change together.
No, then you make special fun.
No, that's on German soil.
Yeah.
Yes. German messengers are something else again. We're not 100% dictatorships here yet. But only part-time until 4 p.m., and then you're allowed to run around freely outside with the right individuals positioned in the appropriate roles. However, this too can be successfully implemented, moving in the intended direction. Then it works.
I don't understand why. Yes, it has to get through to you soon. I don't understand why anyone even gets up in the morning anymore.
Because they are used to it out of tradition.
Yes, why? Why are you standing up? Why? What for? Why? The aim is for you to be able to see everything through here for another month. Just leave it. That will inevitably lead to the abyss. You can also clearly see that the premises here are not structured in such a way that your work is obviously worth something. They don't give a shit about it, otherwise it wouldn't be like that.
They give you something that can be taken away from you again.
Right?
And so that it doesn't get taken away, you're stuck in the hamster wheel. During the GDR, everything was free, except for you. And they scold those who want to get out, because you were a slave in both systems. You have to understand that. That's why we need something completely new here. We need a financial system that doesn't sue us. What we need is a global system that brings people back into the forefront. We require a banking system where the institutions serve the people rather than people serving the institutions. That all made sense at one point. Then someone came along and turned everything around. And it had to be turned back around properly. And that's what I'm experiencing right now. All of them, and that's why I have this image in the background. In the real big chess game, all the proxies are being eliminated, right? You can see that. The Americans are dropping Europe as a proxy. The Russians are dropping Syria, Cuba, Venezuela, and Iran. The Saudis are now buying nonsense. The Chinese are simply buying from the Saudis. They don't have a problem with that, right? If you think about it, there's never just a single gas station on this planet that even allows you to make a purchase. But if you look closely, you can see that all the threads that have been built up over the last few centuries, especially by the British, and the British via the Vatican, are being severed, completely cut off, and all the old chess pieces are being taken out of the game. And that's where things will really get better for humanity, because it doesn't do any good to just clean things up a bit here. Imagine if Trump were to just clean up America. Then a week later, the same problem would arise again, as it would come back and infiltrate America again. You always do the right thing. In Russia, they slip up. In China, they disappear. Even in India, accidents happen. And what did Mo say? Moscow won't be able to protect Khamenei. Accidents also happen in Moscow. So things are clearing up right now. And you can see that as a good thing or a bad thing.
Yes, that is, I believe the biggest problem is in that. You can see it in that. Yes, you can observe the same phenomenon within the QAnon movement, evident in all those individuals who truly commit to its core beliefs. Yes, that it's currently crumbling to some extent, where people say, well, I don't know. And I must admit, I had a very uneasy feeling when the events in Iran first began unfolding. So now, after 17 days, the guy since the #1 in build, and the Iran war has become such a slight issue that I'm not worried anymore. It's just completely forgotten, really. And if the most significant issue this country grapples with, the one that actually occupies our court system, is whether a user receives a 15% commission through an app, which I find absolutely outrageous and demands immediately clarification, then yes, I'd say you're losing your mind. In this country, the important things are not being addressed. Things are being made smaller and smaller. And honestly, everything is better than what we currently have.
Okay, what have they addressed? I can't create bikini pictures of Ms. Merkel anymore.
That's no longer possible.
It's forbidden now.
It's forbidden now?
Never because of Ms. Merkel, but in general.
I honestly don't know if anyone can find any enjoyment whatsoever in such bikini images. My goal is to simply explore the capabilities.
What it could produce. As I mentioned, I requested a picture of Ms. Merkel at the beach during the sunset in a bikini, but with a provocative pose. As though she were expressing a desire for the German people. What came out was really crazy.
Where did you try it? At Grox.
Yes.
No, but yes, I can understand that now. If this is censored, then Elon Musk is doing something right. I'm just sorry.
No, but let's get to the biblical apocalypse, because I specifically brought this up. Hey,
Yes.
Trump was anointed by Jesus. Holy warriors declare holy war on other holy warriors. Bibi Netanyahu says that the Messiah is coming, but not this Thursday, so not tomorrow. That much is certain. I find it strange that he is saying he cannot come on Thursday. The other thing I thought of was that at the moment, the Pope hasn't yet moved into his residence in the Vatican. The Pope is just the deputy. Is the Messiah already in the Vatican?
No.
That's why the 600 Knights Templar are with him in the Vatican.
Maybe.
Maybe, baby. And it gets even better. Peter Thiel is giving lectures in Italy. Where else would they give lectures about the Antichrist while Trump himself anoints every single soldier? And they're doing it so publicly that everyone can hear it. Everyone should notice it. They should understand that they are currently in an apocalypse. Only then will they fully understand the grand finale. Because most people still cling to the belief that it was a bad day for humanity. No, you are here in the biblical final battle. You are in the book of Revelation. Yes. And it's happening on German soil. And every German citizen, whether they want to or not, has this madness thrust under their nose. That is good. Because that is the only way you can create a process of change in the propagandist's court. It's similar to, I hesitate to say it, the way you train a dog. However, you absolutely have to show the suffering. You have to show all the rubbish. It has always been there.
Yes, that is it.
They are not doing anything different now than usual.
Exactly. What we are seeing right now is what was going on in the background before. This is now happening in the forefront. Something like that. You have to imagine it. Yes.
Yes. And they have always lied. They have always cheated. That has never changed. Only now people are noticing it so blatantly. Now Schultz intends to write a book.
About what he remembers, document his life story.
That's just, that's another shock.
You're just getting the brains out of me. Honestly, that's amazing. I also thought, what was that?
And that's specifically in the Bild newspaper headline about what people still remember, where everyone who writes comments has to write it down. That won't be very much.
Yes.
Fine. Now, absolutely. Everyone. It's a fact. It's a fact. But if the objective is to reach a unified German response, where every single German feels profoundly annoyed and utterly fed up, then what they're doing is certainly heading in the right direction. Because I don't perceive any lessening of pressure whatsoever. I see how the pressure is increasing every day. And at some point, the kettle will burst. And then the masses will be on the streets, and it will be the vaccinated. It will be the ones who are suffering from unemployment. It will be the mothers who won't have by the end of the month, it will be the pensioners who will be collecting bottles in the streets. It will be all of them. Academics will be living next to workers. Everyone will be on the streets. If they continue exactly like this, 89 will be nothing compared to what is coming our way.
Yes. I'm going with you. Yes, I see it that way too. Yes, I can only appeal. Listen to your heart. Yes, and that's what drives you. You have to tell the other side, but if you go to the demonstration, be glad you're not in Iran.
Yes. Yes. The point many failed. Grasp is America's involvement. It involved the Soviet Union. Russia became communist. China became communist. All because of American actions, you see? In the period following, the communism spread extensively throughout Asia, throughout the entire Orient, and also advanced into Africa and Latin America. America was the last vestige of freedom. Why was America attacked? In 1776, they'd written the word freedom so incredibly prominently, and everyone else was terrified that the idea would spread like wildfire. After suddenly, they are all free.
Did you get that information from Heck?
No, what hasn't he done again?
He had an interview, I believe it was with a lady. During that interview, she came up with this fantastic idea and proposed it to him.
Why?
Don't you become a member of the AFD, then all those who hate you won't vote for the AFD anymore.
Well, that would work.
It would work if...
The AFD wouldn't accept you.
Yes, I believe that, but do you know how you can do that? Well, no.
If you want to reduce the AFD to 0%, give them Baerbock, Lauterbach, and Habeck.
Yes.
That would work. Too bad, because in that case, everyone else would probably switch their votes to the Greens, given that we've lost them. No, it's so crazy. And Ecuador is now going after gangsters with 75,000 soldiers. Delay. In Bolivia, the gangster hunt is on. You see the changes everywhere. Progress is visible everywhere. You can see terrorists falling one by one. You see Habermas. We have to talk about this. The great philosopher, the great thinker of Germany, the co-founder of the Frankfurt School. The Frankfurt School. Have you read the nonsense they wrote about him? I could have thrown up. All the damage we have on German messengers today is due to the Frankfurt School.
Okay.
And because of BL. But the Frankfurt School was the philosophical background for the 68ers, and the 68ers were the ones who later had children who then ran around in our Bundestag as the Traffic Light Coalition. As the Traffic Light. Well, the 68ers' children, like Palmer was a child of the 68ers. That was the entire Traffic Light government, the afterbirth of the 68ers, which was ultimately the afterbirth of Frankfurt, and they praise Habermas. It's unbelievable, but that already shows the difference, you know? While the press is still dueling with such people, anyone who knows what the Frankfurt School has done will say to themselves, are you crazy? Are you crazy? You can call them that, but they also cheer on in their mouths. Here is Ali Laurani. He was, as you know, a truly great philosopher and a distinguished academic. Yes, they are all Illuminati. That doesn't mean that they are never mass murderers.
It's terrible, to be honest. Yes, on the one hand, it's genuinely real. It's incredibly entertaining. It's truly a blast to watch this utter chaos unfold. Then, again,
If you don't make a big deal of it, everything will be alright in the end. If you don't take it to heart, then it's okay. Just look at the sheer panic spreading here. It's unbelievable. I just watched Corsten and Dragon's program, and even they were stunned by the sudden surge in the number of people identifying as communist. It's as if they'd all been sleeper agents, diligently signaling right, only to consistently deviate left at the crucial juncture. Suddenly, there is a Team Greet, made up of right-wing newspaper owners. You think to yourself, okay, now Greet is suddenly for oil and gas for Cuba, even though Cuba is the first climate-neutral country. And Greet should be cheering. What is Greet doing? Everyone is now calling for genocide because of a power outage. If a power outage here equals genocide, okay, but now, the supposedly right-wingers are joining Team Greet just to be against Trump. That's when you hear too often that America is the bad guy without understanding that the other one is super Russian, but yes, it was the Americans.
yes, exactly.
The Americans are always the problem, how many are currently fighting for Iran, for Mueller? How many are now fighting for Cuba or in the 70s? That love to personally shoot his traitors. Can you imagine Trump acting according to what they would then say?
Yes, you see, on the other hand, there's also this lingering fear of potential third world war. I have to say right away, statistically speaking, yes.
Without Germany, there would be
No world war without Germany. Yes.
yes. So said it's not a proxy war. Consequently, it's not a world war either.
That's how it is.
It's quite simple.
Statistical terms, 100% of every world war is undeniably and entirely a German affair.
So,
Yeah.
I have the distinct fortune of having this personnel. They're so inept. Even a well-planned world war would be beyond their capabilities.
Yes.
It truly seems almost like a gift from God in these modern times. To Schultz, we made it clear he's simply the wrong man in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Maybe the home run is being broken. I don't know. Could be.
Yes, but it saved 70 to 80 million lives. His being the wrong man in the wrong place at the wrong time was a critical factor. The right man at the right place at the right time, and that also applies to Mark. Then this country would probably have hit the wall, the Russian wall. It would have resulted in serious consequences. We can always rebuild those companies. But if a nuclear bomb hits here, then it's over. Then we don't need to reopen anything.
Yes, but that's easy to say. Yet on the flip side, there's a truly incredible strength of life, present within every single company. It's about that's significant. Time is literally being wasted completely. It is a renewal and regrettable loss. That's what I was looking at recently. Look at you, look at the car manufacturers. Yes, you can forget about us. We need each other. Yes, get out of here. It's this that we're seeing come out of China regarding their new generation of vehicles. There you have it. You put your eyes on the table. Unbelievable. Buy.
Cheap, buy twice.
That's what you're thinking right now, but I saw something recently. Yes, I thought to myself, what's not possible? In this video, the German YouTuber is reviewing the car, and he starts by saying, wow, you get the feeling you're in a G-Class. Yes, the craftsmanship is superb, the build quality is stable. They're currently running the initial 100,000 kilometer test, and after seeing that, you think, okay, what else is there to want? Okay, what are you even competing against here?
But what is a 100,000 kilometer test anyway? It seems like a bit of overkill.
I know, of course, but cars just don't hold the same significance in people's lives as they once did. Not everyone appreciates this kind of build quality or shared analog experiences the way you and I do, you see. Yes, I even drive a 13-year-old car myself. It's currently in need of a little rust repair. But honestly, I love the car and plan to keep it for a while. I'm actually very grateful to be able to drive it given the current fuel prices. As I've converted prices up, it's a fun and economical option, especially when you can drive by the gas station with a full tank. But that's for people who appreciate that kind of thing. For those always chasing the latest advancements in technology, the sheer scale of what's available is truly astounding. There comes. Yes, and that's not no quality anymore. There's actually high quality stuff coming out now, and they're developing that. Two, they're not sleeping. Yeah. They know exactly that they want to enter the market with cheap stuff first, and then follow up with quality.
Sooner or later, they'd be good competition, but I don't see that happening in the next 10 years because the durability is still lacking. Since you just mentioned rust, I actually took my car in for its teeth inspection yesterday. The first page was the first page. There was still so much. The front brakes need to be done. Okay, they're off, and the light on the back of the license plate isn't working. Still okay. The second page was notes and tips. This was simply a list. Rust, 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 with a bit of surface rust, 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 rust.
Now 23 or something?
What?
How old is this thing?
23 years.
Yeah. Then I'll
Do something about the rust. I really don't want the TOV employee to be stuck writing down a ridiculous amount of pointless information, but still listen till after in 23 years, the amount of work that needs doing is utterly ridiculous.
You have to know everything's fine. Yeah, so no, it's always like this factor.
You, that's it. We're not too stupid. The management is stupid.
Yeah, of course.
That's completely not how one can
It's
say.
such a modern Numic box, the kind that beeps incessantly at every little thing, every single little detail. Who ordered that?
You have to know first what scares you in the car, that it is life-threatening? Life.
That must be dangerous, isn't it? License plate recognition? Yeah, everything is great. But, that's completely counterproductive. There's no way it works. You could also remove the speed measuring devices. You don't need them anymore. Well, he is evading a considerable amount of fines, but I really don't get it. Who ordered that? Who wants something like that?
Yeah, above all, you know how much energy it consumes every time at the traffic lights? Engine off, engine on, engine off, engine on, engine off, engine on. That's all they do is nonsense. It's a good thing that the Bundeswehr has now ordered proper engines and proper cars that will also function in the event of war, without turbocharging, but properly.
Yes.
And I firmly believe that because the Bundeswehr is now ordering properly, the manufacturers are forced to do so because the Bundes has high quality standards. You don't need to come up with a biturbo or anything like that, right? You have to put a proper engine in there. Whatever. Yes, I'm wondering what else happened. It's so unbelievably fast. It's just insane how quickly everything moves. You're struggling to keep up. It is really.
March Madness. That is absolutely the right word to use. Yes, you can say that.
Yes. And Frank Storner did my show back then. So it was about, imagine this war game, as if it was locked in place like a computer on the American side. Was playing against a Russian Soviet computer, and then everything was stuck everywhere during the Cold War. Shilivi. You can shake things up in North Korea when nothing happened there. Nothing happened there. Nothing happened there. With Trump's intervention now complete, everywhere he's gotten involved, all the dominoes are falling one after another. He has freed North Korea. That takes a lot of tension out of Asia. He's going to withdraw from Japan now as well, freeing the Japanese, exactly as he has freed the Germans. He will make a deal with Taiwan and China. He will make a deal with China. He makes a deal with Putin. He will release Europe, which is for our benefit. And in Europe, that's the cool thing. If Trump now withdraws from NATO out of anger, Ramstein, 1, 2, and 3, and the entire NATO leadership will go to whom? Enigma. To the Prussians. This is it, you see? This is the truth. Though I'm sure no one will believe me, as usual, but just take a look and see for yourself where all the major Eastern Bloc NATO bases are located. Danzig, Stettin, Holzdorf, and Rostock. Yeah. Should have a look. It's fascinating, and everything Trump does may seem a bit chaotic at first glance, as if he had no plan, but he does have a plan, and this plan is brilliant because you can see for yourself. Iran had a high risk of failure. The operation would have gone wrong in 999 out of 1,000 attempts. With any other president, that thing would have gone wrong. With any other composition, that thing would have gone wrong. Trump just quickly set up an anti-cartel NATO in between. Arrested a mafia boss there. Arrested a drug cartel boss there. In between, Obama was quickly put on house arrest. BlackRock, Blackstone, Vanguard crashed on the stock exchange. BP crashed on the stock exchange. The biggest insurance company from England crashed. So everything he does has a purpose. If you know the opponent he's working on. To the untrained eye, it looks like chaos. But if you really grasp the nuances, it's brilliant. And it really frustrates me that so few people recognize and understand its brilliance. I truly thought we were in a scene populated by intelligent individuals, capable of objective, unbiased analysis. Expected them to all be communists. And actually, I find that quite acceptable. We are not like that. I find it positive that we're drawing a clear, unbroken line right through there. That's the way we are going. We are going this way. That's the right way. And you can see that that this way is proving its worth. Sure, there are left, right, but the bottom line is that everything is going in the same direction. And this direction has been good for so many people so far. The Russians will be cheering the end. The Chinese will be free. The Inter are already free. The Turks, the Jews, the Arabs, the Persians, the Kurds down in the Orient. The African peoples are currently liberating themselves. In Latin America, they are liberating themselves. One can see counter-revolutionary movements and defections across the planet, including presently in Iran. Yes, because that was unimaginable before Trump.
Yes, you see, even we ourselves are unable to take a look a moment. Just one more point on this to address Iran a bit further. In closing, we don't see what's happening in the country. We don't see it. Yes, at the moment, I think it's more Reconnaissance Price Egg, whether they are already on the streets, whether efforts are already underway. Who knows what is going on? Who knows what is going on? I believe we will. Yes. And for that, I'm also initially thankful to you, FICO. I want to say this quite frankly, because I believe this program is actually exceptional in that we maintain a positive approach even in tough times. Yes, and it's absolutely crucial. It's incredibly important that you truly and unshakably hold on to your faith. Yes, absolutely essential, because the biggest hurdle in a story like this is self-doubt, and that simply cannot be tolerated. Yes. And yes, so March Madness. That's all you can really say about it, right?
There's the April shower too, of course, and it will certainly rain.
However, I actually associate that April shower with a sense of refreshment, you see? Right. After that sort of sauna, you know, the hot, cold sequence, the first thing I do is take a shower. Then, slowly but surely, you find your way back to normality. And I reckon that's about it.
Yes, many people will be standing in the cold rain. But then in May, the Mayflower will arrive, and then we'll see each other there. There's a possibility that I might have to make some short notice changes to my presentation, perhaps focusing on world peace. We made it. We'll see how quickly Trump sticks to the schedule. Currently, however, the stars are favorably aligned. And just as above, so below, a principle we fully acknowledge, they operate with a precise timetable which all parties are obligated to adhere to. Let the dice roll as they will. We Germans have already cleared the deck. We are free. We get all of Europe as a gift, so whether it's a gift or a burden, we'll see. Yeah. French is behaving. However, all things considered, things could have turned out a lot worse for us.
I believe that too. Yes, that's true. That's true, though. Okay, that was the 55, and we'll see each other in April at the latest. Nonsense, in May at the Revolution. Check out the YouTube channel. Check out Telegram channel. I'm going to add the carpooling channel link below as well, so you can arrange your carpools there. Everything here under this video, and until next week.
Yeah. Until then.
Do you want to say a closing sentence, something funny or something?
Enough said. Get the thing out.
Okay. In that sense,